Hi guys, welcome to Avid Forte. I'm Avilash and I would like to take up a few questions on electrical and lighting that most of you have already shared with us. So before I move on to the numericals on lighting, I'd like to revise a few concepts that should be in your glossary. Let's assume this was a candle. So the tip would be glowing with an intensity of 1 candela. So for the starting, you know now what a candela is. If this was a candle with a light source of an equivalent of 1 candela. Now this 1 candela would have been emanating light rays on all sides, like in a spherical manner, like the sun shines every day, it emits light radiation similarly. So these light rays that are incident on different surfaces would be considered, the expression for these light rays would have been in terms of lumens, the amount of light rays coming out of a source in terms of lumens. Now suppose this is solid, assume this is hollow, it just has the green borders. So assume it has a green border and everything within this is hollow, and assume this is of an area of 1 square feet, assume. So the light would have been passing, all the the rays of lights or lumens would have been passing through this surface, because this would have been a hollow surface under our assumption. So the unit that which we would derive in such a circumstance would have been lumens per square feet, or maybe if this was 1 square meter, we would have achieved a lumen per square meter reading. Now this reading of lumen per square meter is what we call illuminance. This is the first important term that you must remember. Next, after illuminance, let's say this surface is slightly matte finish, and this end here, if you can you see the light reflecting off? Okay, if I turn it now, the light's reflecting off, right? So this is more reflective, this is less reflective. That's how this thing is designed. So we would have to attribute something, a term, to this nature of reflectance that depends on the smoothness of the surface. For example, if you ignore the glossy part for now and if you focus on the other part, which is plain green, this is black, reflecting very less light, but this is slightly more greenish, reflects the green light in the green spectrum of the light, but otherwise also reflects slightly more light than the black. So this term that we would attribute with the reflecting properties of the surface would be called excitance. Now you would tell me, what about luminance? So I'll come to that. Now if instead of this I have a mirror, it would reflect a lot of light, it would even create glare, let's say, on your eyes, something that you must have experienced while driving down the highway, or maybe driving at night when the light hits you in the eyes very hard, so that if I wanted to reflect sunlight onto the camera, it would create a kind of glare. So the properties of a surface attributed to its specularity, the reflectivity of the surface in terms of mirror finish, that we will term as luminance. Now that you know the entire glossary of lighting, we will move on to the first question. So the first question which they have asked me is highly relatable to the question which was again asked in 2021. So this question is from, I think, 2019, and they have mentioned the illuminance of a room is 300 lux and the efficacy is 60%. What is the power consumption or power density of the room in terms of watt per meter squared? So power multiplied by efficacy gives you illuminance. That is the formula. So you just put in the numbers, you have the answer. This is a very simple question. But because I mentioned 2021, I'll do one thing. I'll be linking the entire video for solution to 2021 questions with our analysis. Check out that video. This is an in-depth analysis and nobody in the country till date has done such a wonderful analysis of the GATE papers. So you will get a very deep insight as to what kind of analysis we do in our closed room sessions, and also something that you should also be working on in order to be able to make it into the top 100. But I'll also take up that question on stadium lighting, so we'll go to that question now. So I'll be reading out the question for you. This is a 2021 question. Because I came across the previous question, I was immediately reminded of it. A circular cricket field of 180 meters diameter is illuminated by 4 floodlight towers that are equally spaced along the perimeter of the field. Fantastic. The height of the floodlight tower is 48 meters. So it's 48 meters high. If you look at the solution, you would obviously get it. And I'll also be sharing the PDF for this entire 2021 solved paper. So you can always check that out. So floodlight tower is 48 meters high, and then use inverse square law. They've straight away given you the hint. You don't have to think what formula to apply. Anyways, 48 meters high, the illumination at the center of the field is found at 750 lux. So you know the center of the field is lit up with an intensity of 750 lux, and each tower consists of 50 lamps. The rating of each lamp is 700 watts. So straight away you have, for every tower, 50 lamps, 700 watts, 35,000 watt of light that is being incident towards the center of the field. So you know it's 48 in vertical and 180 is the diameter, so the radius of the field is 90. So for a Pythagoras triangle of 90, 48 for the base and the perpendicular respectively, the hypotenuse is going to be, if you do the math, it's going to come out at 102. 102 is very easy. Even if you are confused with the number of 90 is 8100, and 48 is 50 minus 2 whole square, so 50 square 2500 minus 200 2300 04 2304, so 8100 10100 10,404. see, I did mentally, 10,404. so that's more than 100 definitely, but how far? 101, 102, as soon as, even if you do it mentally, you would find that yes, 102 is 100 plus 2 whole squared. So 100 plus 2 into 100 plus 2, 10,000 plus 200 plus 200 plus 4, 10404. It's not difficult if you give it a try. Now, so the hypotenuse you know, so the distance now you have received. This is the critical distance which I always tell my students on closed room sessions, that this distance is all that you have to find out first. You got the distance. Now we will move on to the next part of the answer. So in the part 2, if you remember the formula that I just shared with you in the last question, power into efficacy gives you illuminance. So 700 watts into 50 lamps per tower, 35,000, I need not calculate also, 700 into 50 multiplied by 4 towers are there. So multiplied by 4, it will come around 1,40,000. Anyways, even if you do not calculate, multiplied by efficacy gives you the illuminance. Illuminance in lux, they have mentioned, or lumen per square meters, they have mentioned that to be 750 lux. So now you have the entire equation in front of you. You got the linear relationship for illuminance. Now you know that the light is traveling at an angle towards the center of the field. For that purpose, E equals to I cos theta by d squared would be applied, inverse square law they have mentioned. E equals I cos theta by d squared, which is the distance the light is traveling, squared, inversely proportional. So E they have mentioned E at 750 lux, and on the other side you are calculating the complete relationship for I as 4 into 50 into 700 into efficacy, and dividing that by 102 whole squared, and obviously the cos theta component is also there. So equals to I 4 into efficacy into 700 into 50 cos theta would be the base by hypotenuse, where the hypotenuse is 102, and by d squared, the d is also 102 whole squared. So if you put down the numbers in the formula, you would end up with the final answer to this question, which is the efficacy of the entire setup. And as it turns out, the correct answer would be somewhere between 118 and 120. That would be an acceptable range for the GEAT exam. So 118.3 something would be the exact answer if you punch it into the calculator. Otherwise, even if you stay within that range of 1 or 2, it's fine. So we'll move on to the next question now. So the next question is on daylight factor. So the daylight factor by itself helps us calculate the illumination levels on the interior and the exterior of a particular space. Now it's a ratio expressed as a percentage. Yeah. So the daylight factor is the summation of the solar component, which is the direct light that comes from the sun, the externally reflected component, which is the sunlight being reflected off the neighborhood or anything that's on the external side of my space, and the internally reflected component, which is when sunlight, even if it is incident directly inside my room, it will still bounce a multiple number of times off different surfaces and create an ambient light. So everything together gives the complete effect of the room's lux level. That is the concept. Now they have said the proper lux level for this room is supposed to be 350 lux, and the sun is providing external component they have mentioned. So the sun is providing 9000 lux, but the daylight factor is of 2.7. So if you solve that equation, you would find the EI, or the interior illuminance, is approximately 243 lux, but you would need 350 lux for the inside of the room. So you have to supplement an extra 107 lux for the entire room setup, and that is all that is there for daylight factor kind of numericals. Now this is a very tricky question because they have asked similar kind of terminologies, similar kind of units. Unless your concept is absolutely clear, you're going to mess up this question. So it says match the following: illuminance, luminous intensity, luminance and luminous efficacy. Illuminance is the number of lumens flowing per square meters, which I have just explained at the beginning of this video. So it's either going to be in lux or lumens per square meter. What have they given? Lumens per square meter. So there's no second thought that should go into it. Then luminous intensity, the very moment I started off, I mentioned if this was a candle and was glowing with some intensity, it was a luminous intensity, right? It was in candelas. So they have mentioned, yes, they have mentioned candelas, that goes for the luminous intensity. If this surface was a mirror, it would have, I could have also focused all the light on your face, and that would have created a kind of a glare, right? So I mentioned that yes, that we term as luminance, which not only depends on the color or the texture of the object, but also its specularity. And finally they have asked you about luminous efficacy. So I just mentioned light power density, or say power in watts, multiplied by efficacy equals to illuminance. So illuminance is in lumens, power is in watts, so the efficacy would be illuminance by power, that would be lumens per watt. And yes, that is the answer to this question. And the final question is so easy, I don't want to solve it live, but given the concepts that I have shared with you now, I expect you to be able to do this. Give me the answer in the comments or reach out to us, and I will, for those of you who are unable to solve it, I will myself share the solution in private. But it says a display window has a particular height, it is 5 meters away from the wall, and it is sending out light which is incident at 2 points, one at an angle of 45 degrees and the other at an angle of 60 degrees. So E equals I cos theta by d squared would be the prime equation that you would use, the driving equation that you would use, and from that you would find the ratio of intensity at both the locations. So we'll keep this sum for your homework or exercise and get back to us. And as I always tell you, at IBIT40 you're welcome to ask us anything, anytime, especially regarding your GATE examinations, your applications to masters at any college in India and abroad, and also any other help that you might require in terms of portfolios, resumes, jobs, internships, connections, even organizing webinars, seminars and so on. So I'll see you soon in the next few videos, and our contact is always there in the description below. You can reach out to us and we would be happy to help you. Thank you.